ask you this question. During the upgrade process of the National Register of Citizens in Assam, I've seen during my ground visits and all, I've seen that people from my own community, the Assamese community, were quite peeved at the mainstream reporters, and they were talking about it, that how our community has been termed as xenophobic and all that. So they were all quite peeved at that. And then I see that whole Métis community now also going through the similar thing during the ethnic conflict, that has engulfed Manipur. And but these two communities are also majority communities in their respective states. But when we look at their numbers, they are not so much. Their numbers are not so much. If we look at from the pan-India perspective, or pan-India, the number, from that kind of an angle, and also elections, now numbers actually matter in elections. So now my question to you is, the challenges to a language are they kind of general in nature, that you see that challenges every language face, or is the challenge to a language is a lot more when the community speakers are less? Like when you were talking about this, there's the number of a lot of communities that in the northeastern numbers are less. I was thinking about Mary Com's community. There are not more than 1,000 people, 1,000 Coms, So that is what where our situation is. But the Assamese and the Métis are certainly not in that bracket. But do you think that these challenges that we face, language faces, are a natural thing that you're going to face anyway, or is it also a special thing when it comes to the numbers are less, and even if it is a majority community in a state?
See, you have a lot of ground experience, very difficult to talk to her.
You're the expert.
But point is, you see, the xenophobic reactions generally come out of different socio-political situations. Let me tell you first. See, whether it is reported like this or not, Assamese people, through the history, have been very, very open. I'll give you some example. Historically, when in 1200 and 12th century, when Bakhtiyar Khilji, Alauddin Khilji's time and things like that, Bakhtiyar Khilji came to attack Assam. So a lot of people from their community stayed back, all right? Generally because they started becoming local type and things like that. Then there were several attacks from outside Assam that time, afterwards also. But you see, you will be such astonished to know, because of such migration, because of such intermingling of people, even Shankardev, Shankardev is a very famous saint in Assam in 15th century. In Shankardev's Bargit, the most famous creation of Shankardev, in Bargit you will see words of Persian origin. This is how they tried to take up words from some other places also. There was no resistance to it. In fact, in 1925, there's a very important personality who some of you must have heard about him, Rajnikanta Bardole. He was president of Assam Saikia Sabha, in 1925. What he said, more than 50 words, 50% of words in Assamese language are from tribal words, tribal languages. What it says, it doesn't say anything about xenophobic reactions. It's sort of a mixing, intermixing, and things like that. Even Ahom dynasty, right? They came all the way from across the border, right? And they came with a few hundred people maybe, but they settled here, they got married to the local people, and they started having the affair, right? So this sort of atmosphere has been there. But after that, why certain reactions you can see, not only in Assam, elsewhere also, because of 2-3 things. When the language of a particular area is threatened, as I say, there's a fear of losing the language, because language is identity. Please remember that. Identity of a community, right? It's the way I used to write Kuladhar, Saikia, DGP Assam. So Kuladhar, Saikia, meaning it's my nameplate, you know. The language is a nameplate of a community. So the moment there is a threat, then the problem comes, right? Then secondly, when there is a question of economic opportunity, there is a conflict about economic opportunities, who are taking it away because of language. Say for example, I'll tell you one. In 1965, there was a very famous article by an American economist. First time he talked about the economics of language, right? When and how a language will thrive because of its economic aspects, right? So what it is about? I've been writing for the last 3-4 years on this particular issue, the economics of language. Because if a language is not, you know, you learn a language, your sons and daughters will learn a language in the school or in colleges, and coming out of that, if they find that that language is not giving their economic opportunities, right? Let us remember one thing, that education is also a sort of an investment for the person, right? For the present generation. So if they are not getting the investment back in terms of whatever, economic opportunities, why should they learn that language? So this is the problem all over the world now. Can I expand it maybe?
Yeah. And I was also asking that question mainly because our language that we see both in the Meitei community, I see even in the Assamese community, or you talked about identity, that your whole identity, your Jatiyatabad, your politics, so everything is hinged on language. No?
Sort of, because on the basis of language only we reorganize the states. You remember? Long back in 50s, right? So language is a very important issue. Now the economics part of it, I'm saying, that is why you see in the present day country of ours, you will see different linguistic people. They are going for protection. They are going for reservation of people speaking that language for their job opportunities. All sorts of things are going on because of the fact whether the people who are speaking that language, their economic life is ensured or not. That is very important aspect in such situations. That is happening all over the world now. You know, whether you're losing the economic space because of the shifting of the language. You know, that these are certain issues we can talk about it very elaborately.
Okay, so now I'll just come to the main